The Brian Gould Show features content from the internet and current events throughout the world. All photos, videos, names, and other content is for entertainment purposes only. Please don't fall asleep. It's rude.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to a very special episode of the Brian Gould Show. I get the pleasure today to interview UFC President Dana White, and I don't want to take up a lot of time, so let's just jump right into this, Mr. White. What is the status with the UFC? Is this thing for sale, or is a portion of it for sale?
Yeah, we're not up for sale. We're always doing, we're always working on deals and our expansion globally. And, I've been saying since this thing came out, no, we're not for sale. But let me tell you what, somebody shows up with $4 billion, we can talk.
Wow.
We can definitely talk.
Now, what about a portion of it? Would you rule out selling off just a portion of it to somebody or a big investment group? How does that work?
Obviously, if I'm in the middle of a deal right now, there's a lot of confidentiality involved in it, but
right.
We're working on expanding. We're working on growing the company and moving in to other territories like China and Japan, Korea.
Bigger markets.
So yeah, we're always working on deals. And as far as the UFC being for sale, I've said this a million times. We get offers on the UFC all the time. It started in 2010. We got our first offer for the company, which was over $1 billion.
Wow.
And we turned it down.
Now, hypothetically, if a sale were to be brought to the table, would it be contingent on you staying as UFC president?
I don't know. I don't know how that would all work out, but I'll tell you this. The day we decide to sell, I probably don't want to do this anymore. I love this. I love this business. I love the sport. I jump out of bed every day excited to go to work. So the day we decide, and listen, me and the Fertitta brothers have been together for a long time. We're very close friends. We work well together, and something we did would be a mutual decision, and we'd probably all be looking to get out of it sold.
Okay. Well, I read this yesterday, and I don't know how much truth is to it. I'm a Raiders fan, and got a little excited when I read this. But the Raiders, are the Fertitta brothers going to buy the Raiders and move them to Las Vegas?
No, that's absolutely false. That's not true.
That's too bad. So the football brothers, they don't want to buy the Raiders? I mean, that's not of interest to them?
The Fertitta, it's very well known. The Fertitta brothers are lunatics about football. They love football. What they've done to help Bishop Gorman become the number one high school team in the country. Lorenzo's son plays at Notre Dame. Lorenzo's other son plays at Villanova. They're definitely football guys, but they are not looking to buy a football team right now.
All right. Well, with you knowing the Vegas market as well as you do you think it'd be a good move for the Raiders to go to Vegas, or any football team for that matter?
Absolutely. I think that any football team that comes to Las Vegas will be very successful. Thank God I grew up and spent some time in Boston. So I'm a big Boston guy. I follow all the Boston teams, but I think growing up, it's so much fun to be a fan of a team. So
yeah.
Vegas has never had that. I think that if any football team comes here, it'll be massive.
Well, speaking of franchises and purchasing franchises, you and the Fertitta brothers bought the UFC 15 years ago. How much did you pay for it?
We paid $2 million for it, but then we ended up about $44 million in the hole building it before it turned around.
Ouch. So at the time, it probably didn't feel like an excellent investment. How are things with it now?
Not bad.
Not bad. Good deal. Now, did you even at any point in time feel when you first got into the UFC that it just wasn't going anywhere? It's time to bail out. It's time to close this thing up. It's just a money pit. We're wasting time, energy, and a lot of money. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, there was a point in time where Lorenzo, when we got into this was a fun hobby for them. It became not fun hobby when they were $44 million in the hole. And Lorenzo said, I can't keep doing this, And I said, believe me, I hear you. So we ended up coming up with the Ultimate Fighter, and the Ultimate Fighter turned everything around once we got on TV.
Last time you spoke to Conor?
Conor and I have been talking every day. We're going to have dinner next week. Our relationship's great, and we're going to put the little speed bump in the road that happened there behind us and move forward. So everything's great.
What is his official status for UFC 200?
He will not be on 200. We're going to get together next week and see what card he'll end up fighting on.
How about this? UFC 202 in August. Him and Diaz, Part 2.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
So is that a confirmation? Can we see Diaz and McGregor, Part 2, UFC 202?
No deal is done for 202.
Oh,
no.
Darn.
We're getting together next week, and we're going to figure out what's next.
Could he be ready for 202?
McGregor's ready to fight on 200. The thing that has made Conor McGregor a massive star and why people love him, this kid loves to fight. He'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. Sure. He goes in and goes for broke. His fights are exciting and fun, leading up to them, during them, and after them. McGregor's ready to fight.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Oh, all right. Now, I'm a big wrestling guy, and I'm a local wrestling promoter here in Florida. And I'll be honest, for a moment there, I thought you and Conor were working everybody, trying to get over, trying to help pay-per-view buys and really build this up and ramp it up. You know, the drama that goes into wrestling. So, that wasn't ever a key element to all this going on.
Yeah, we don't do that. We're pretty upfront with everything that we do, and we try to make the fights the fans want to see. But sometimes, never in the history of combat sports has anybody ever had, almost 500 people under contract. So we have a lot of egos and personalities and things that we have to deal with. And most of the time it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But we don't ever fabricate or try to do things for promotional purposes.
Yeah, it's a wrestling thing. Ronda Rousey, I read that she won't fight this year. Is that true?
I hope that's not the case. I would really like her to fight this year. I hope she does. That's up to Ronda. Ronda's going to come out and let us know when she's ready to fight again. And I say it all the time. If you look at from when I decided to bring women into the UFC, no fighter has worked harder than Ronda Rousey over the last 3 years.
Agreed.
Other than probably Conor McGregor. So she deserves the time off.
Agreed. Strongly agree with that, Dana. What is this stuff between McGregor and Mayweather? Just real quick, is it going to happen? Or actually, they both confirmed that it's not going to happen. So have you spoke to McGregor about any of this?
No, we haven't talked about it. Listen, Conor McGregor's under contract with the UFC.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Made sense. All right, I'll drop it. So let's get to the real big card this weekend. UFC 198. What is going to happen? What's going on with that?
Yeah, it's the biggest card we've ever done in Brazil. 45,000 tickets sold in one day.
Wow.
And it'll be the biggest weigh-in in combat sports history. They're expecting over 22,000 people in Brazil for the weigh-ins. All the legends, Shogun Rua, the first time Chris Cyborg has ever fought in the UFC, Jacare Souza versus Vitor Belfort, and for the heavyweight title, Stipe Miocic versus Fabricio Verdum. Even the Fox Sports 1 prelims, Matt Brown versus Damian Maia.
Nice.
Amazing card this Saturday live on pay-per-view.
Wow, that is excellent. Even Cyborg, you guys have been trying to work that out for a very long time. Speaking of working on a fight, what about you and Joe Rogan? Could you take Joe in the octagon?
Joe Rogan is a very well-rounded guy. He was a Taekwondo champion, and he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I would not like to fight Joe Rogan. No, I'm good with that.
All right, fine. Well, all right. I know you're pretty busy, Mr. White, so let's wrap this up. Just to recap real quick, the UFC is not for sale, correct?
The UFC is not for sale. Unless some guy really shows up and has $4 billion, then, yeah, we can talk.
and then you and the Fertitta brothers can buy my Raiders and move them to Las Vegas and make me happy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Those type of things takes time, but the Fertittas are not looking at the Raiders right now either.
All right. Well, thank you so much, UFC President Dana White. Thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with me. I know I got to let you go, and would love to have you back again. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thanks.
There you go, guys. Dana White with the UFC, putting a few things to bed. The UFC is not for sale. We won't see McGregor and Mayweather fight. Great possibility that we may not see Rousey fight this year either. But McGregor, possibly 202. That was pretty cool. Highlight of my day speaking with him. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check out my website, thebriangouldshow.com, and go back and check out all the other content that I've got in the past on that website. And don't forget to check out the Celebrity Death Pool newly added to the website. Thank you guys for listening.